Kingdom of Friends and Irony, protecting families by protecting the pack, and we're going to show you how to tune a coin using the FOI tuner. So let's go ahead and switch right over, and I'm going to probably just set one up and then from scratch and kind of go over it. Now the tuner is always changing, so I'm going to probably maybe put this in a separate section, and it'll probably be out of date by the time I do this, which is why I haven't really done it. And at the same time, you know, we're just constantly changing, so it's just hard to keep up sometimes. So I'm gonna do my best. This is as of April 10, 2018, and we'll go ahead and switch right over. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move that over, and I'm gonna move the tuner in place right now. So we stopped using the installation because it wasn't installing right and all this other stuff, and it just made it hard. So all we did was unzip the file now. So I have it all kind of like clean. You unzip it and you'll see everything kind of just as is. I have a little more because I have the developer stuff, and so you basically just run it and it'll just kind of turn right on. And there's a couple things you got to do to make sure you initialize everything when you first start it. And I think a couple of people have some problems with installation, but I think you kind of looked at some videos before to make sure that the videos are there. I mean, the files are there, so that's launching. Making sure that the files are in the EXP folder and all the other stuff. Okay, so it's just launching right now. So once it's up and running, I'm gonna switch right over. All right, so as soon as you start it off, this is 1.074. 1.07.4. Is there 1.07.4? Okay, so this is this version, the latest one. It's got some added feature here. So as soon as you come in, you want to copy and paste your IP address and with the port number. You want to enter your information, your username and password. You want to log in quicker, and then both Chrome and Firefox does work now, but you're gonna have to hit the load button real quick as soon as you get on. So it loads everything. Now, even though you see it loaded, it doesn't actually select anything or push those variables into the program because there's something weird with the drop-down menu not updating properly. Talking to the developer on it, so this is the workaround for now. Hit the load, and even though it says Firefox, it may not actually select Firefox. So when you're running it, it may not do anything, or it'll say, "Hey, alert! There's some kind of variable missing. Check your settings." So click out of it and then click back in, so it actually selects something. And then same thing with all the drop down menus, and this is common for all the drop down menus. Okay, once you have done it, and then you actually want to select your actual desired settings. So let's say I want to actually do settings with safeties disabled, secret method, and I actually want to just do 2 weeks. And I want to max trades, then ROI, so I just want to make sure that's clear. Enter your 5 days. Now this is very restrictive, so when you're running it and things aren't working, it's because this is it's not matching this because you're holding bags for more than a day. Then it would just kick up the results and just say, hey, we didn't do anything. So 5 is kind of normal. If it's really restrictive and nothing's really doing anything, you're gonna have to do 10 days. Okay, so it just allows everything through. Now once you do it, then you could kind of like tune it down later on and kind of go from 10 to 5 to 3 to 2 to 1. They're considered like their walls to kind of constrain the results. So as you get the good results, then you can kind of keep the good results from going out of bounds and keep constraining those walls down to 1 day, and then kind of guiding the results that way. So you might take a couple more runs to do this, but this is the reason why if it's not running and not doing anything, it's because of this maximum days to hold bag. Okay, the stop loss, as you're running it, you need to stop midway. Just check that. You'll flip it open, and then it will stop the process after one loop, and then and go from there. Now, as far as when the results is done, it won't say anything. It will just kind of stop doing anything. You'll probably be like, okay, well, I got my best result. It's ended, and there it is. I'll probably put some alert later on to notify you that the results is done, so that you guys can know that it's done doing the run. When you do click the start, it'll reset everything and put this back on to be good to go. Now before we kind of do this manually, but as of today, all I need to do right now is launch the browser, and click on that. It's gonna launch the browser. Give it a few minutes here. Alright, so it's loading on another window. Let me pull it in. And then it's going to try to log in, but since I have two-factor, I actually have to manually enter it again. So let's see here. Alright, so copy. Alright, so I'm going to re-enter my stuff. And once this is launched, you just kind of move to a coin that you want to use. And we made it easy now where you don't actually have to have a good initial guess. Before you did, but now all you do is click on this thing, click on one button solution, and you're good to go. So this is the easiest way to get started. It's just simple, and you can be up and running very quickly, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and kind of create one from scratch. I'm gonna go and do a new BNB bot of some sort. Let me see here. Let me check Binance real quick, see what the next highest market cap coin for BNB. I do a lot of pairs like BTC pair, Ether pair, and then I'm doing a BNB pair and also a US dollar pair. Because depending on the stability of that, it's hard to trade when you're, in the sense if it's the dollar and it keeps dropping in value, is losing its purchasing power. So you kind of want to switch to, depending on what's dropping and whatnot, to go to the stronger coin, I'd say. Alright, so it looks like ONT BNB is good. So let's go ahead and do ONT BNB. I like to put little keywords on there. I'll have sim, I'll have live, depending if I switch it on from a sim account to a live account. That's kind of how I will know based on the keywords, and then I can quickly search it if I have these labels on there. If you want to add it to a group, I would probably add it to a group too, so you can kind of activate them all at the same time, or disable them all at the same time. So Mad Hatter BNB pair hat bot. Okay. I have a little bit of a allergy cold kind of thing right now, so I apologize ahead of time. Alright, so to keep things simple, all you gotta do is probably just add the trade amount that you want. Just add something substantial like 10 or 100 or something like that. And then you can kind of set some basic stuff. Uncheck these two. And that is it. And then you kind of click over here, go to initial guess, and click on load. You kind of load these drop down menus again. It kind of keeps clearing itself out when you go to each tab. Go down to like maybe 6 days or something like that. 6 days should be good. 2 weeks might be a little better. Let's go to 2 weeks. And then I like to make sure I reset everything again. And this is not necessarily needed right now, but later on, this is not really working. This is the beta version. You'll be able to edit the initial guesses here and then run it. So you can add initial guesses, random guesses, and all that stuff. But this is the one-click solution. Once you set these up and you have pre-selected the backtest period, these two are probably the most important. Actually, probably this one is most important. This is already built into it. I believe it already pre-selects the maximization option. Cosmo is a little quicker. He just sweeps through, and I think I have another video that kind of talks about how that works. But this is basically how you get started real quick, and then I'll talk to you later more on another video on what it's actually doing. So all I do is click on that, and then it'll go then and kind of put my initial guesses in, and it builds a table of all these values, and then out of the tables that it's built, it'll run it, pick out the best one. Anything that's positive, it will kind of go with, and then based on that, it'll start sweeping and start tuning it And this is the easiest way just to get going, because a lot of people was struggling trying to come up with the initial guesses just to get something positive going before you actually tune it on the first tab of this tuner. So now with the initial guess, it just makes it a lot easier for anyone who is a newbie just to jump right on there, kind of initialize these variables and just click on FOI complete tuning solution, and it'll be done. And you probably check these two out. Some coins work better for certain tuning solutions, but I've noticed maybe with higher ROI on the FOI. Cosmo, I'm still working with him on his algorithm, so I don't know if it's exactly what he wants yet, so it's not performing as good, but it could perform better on some coins, and so on. Okay. Alright, so now that it kind of just did initial guess, it did find something good that worked, so 7.6%. So now it's going to start using that 7.624% and continue to improve it from that point on. So let's kind of move this aside here. You kind of see it. Now, some of these runs take about probably maybe 15 minutes to a half hour, just depending on the coin. But it'll continue to search through it. And so this is at the 2-week mark. And eventually, once you get something working, you can probably retune it again, but lower the backtest period down to 4 to 6 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. If you could get it down to 1 day, that would be best, because that's the most recent current market, rather than 6 days old when the market could have been done and doing something else. And you want to actually maximize the trades for the day. So you want to trade at least 2 to 3 times, complete trades, as in like a buy and a complete sell. So right here, the last trade was on the 2nd. So even though it did great back then, it's not doing good today, and it's not trading today. And it could be holding the bag if the last trade was a green buy. Okay, so it's the 10th now. I wouldn't take this because the market's old and it's not jumping back into market. And but we need to start from a broad point and kind of constrain the walls of the time period and push it closer and closer towards a 1 day back test. Okay, so April 2nd. So we just kind of let it run now. I don't know if I can keep talking or should I just pause the video, but that's the easiest way to get started. Once it's done, it will present you the best one, and basically nothing will be running anymore, nothing will be moving. Then you kind of have to assume that it has the run has completed. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So I have tuned it. It is giving us 13.8% as the final. I don't like it right now. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Alright, because the last trade date was April 3rd and it's April 10th. So I mean, let's look at it. Let's see if it was a downtrend, and we might not want to be participating in a downtrend. Let's see here. Or it got stuck. I don't think it got stuck. It just stopped trading or it didn't hit anything. But we're gonna figure out why. Try to adjust the time to maybe 1 hour or something like that, or 1 day. See what's doing. And so there's a couple of settings here, which is why things are still changing so much, and I'm still figuring out what is the best safety, because some safeties work better than others. And if it doesn't refresh, I'll do it this way. Alright, so it looks like, it could be trading more, and it went on an uptrend and just stopped. So that's just really weird. And just kind of like say, hey, this is not cool. I'd rather trade on a downtrend. And when it's uptrend, that's no signal. So so this is where we would kind of change it up a little bit, where it just kind of, so we might call this a downtrend ONT. This might be good to kind of, right, and then just kind of save it as that. And then what we will do is then clone it, but then we need to shorten the days. Even though I put 2 weeks, it just didn't trade after that. So once we have something working, we can retune it for something a little better. So let's train it for uptrend. and then what I would do then is tune it again. And another way to tune it too is also set the dates. Is there an override? Yes, there is, but not with the one-click solution. You have to do it manually. Where there's the possibility where we could just set the dates of a downtrend time, and then just go from there. So let's say the last 2 days was an uptrend. Let's go ahead and try one day and see what we get with this setting. And see what trades or not. It probably wouldn't. If it doesn't, then we'll just kind of set the period now to a 1 day, and that'll be the most recent type of trade until the market changes again. Okay, so then I'll tune it again and hit the one-click solution, and it's going to go through it and do it one more time, but now it's going to try to find a solution on in 1 day. And so as we build bots for different market conditions, we then monitor them, forward test it, and then when we see trades that happen that are good, then switch them onto a live wallet. Okay, so this is before we used to use the other side and tune it manually, but ever since I got the one-click solution, I've always started using one-click solution. So it's kind of evolved to a point where I don't have to worry about the settings. I don't have to think about it too much. I just click the one-click solution and move on. I don't have to sit there and monitor it that often. Okay, so as this video progresses on, you probably don't even have to create bots anymore. It's going to create all the bots and tune everything, and it will have a database full of tuning settings that you can kind of pull from. But as of now, as of today, this is where we are at. So I'll add on to this section, and as you watch it, even from people watching it, you can watch it evolve. We'll go from there. But then I'll have another video talking about what each setting does, the algorithm behind it, and how it works. So, and also this too, the safeties. There are other things where the safeties, where this being all zeros seems to work better too. It might allow us to trade up, downtrend, and uptrend, but you know, as of right now, it is trading on a downtrend. So you might have something a little different now after it creates this. It might be all zero and trading on an uptrend. So I'll let this run again, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so this just finished, and it's doing a 4% on a 1 day back test. So that's kind of what it's doing right now. As long as you can see that it buys and low, sells high more consistently than not, that's a good thing. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch right over. Alright, so now I've saved this as uptrend, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of look through it, see if anything else is consistent or not. So this is uptrends working opposite of downtrend, so I don't expect more losses, but this is as of today, or 1 day. Is that right? There you go, 1 day. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear history. Make sure it's on a simulated wallet. Yep. And then hit start. Same thing on the other one. Clear it. And we just kind of monitor it. Okay. Let's see what happens. Now we're still experimenting on this as of this video. To have a stop loss. I want to have a stop loss, but it seems to probably perform better the way it's set up without a stop loss. So let me show you one that did really well. And it's 30%, and these are all zeros. Okay, but it tuned it with the safeties disabled, so it doesn't mess with this, and all it does is tunes everything else. Open the analyzer. It's very since consistent. Okay, and it's been pretty steady through many days. And this is a forward tested setting. So I'm still debating between the two. I'm still testing between the two. You should do the same. And then I may adjust the FOI one-click setting accordingly. Oops, what mess with that? Based on the results I get. So I think I might have cloned it. Did I clone this? 2.1. I think I might have retuned it, probably, I'm guessing. And looks like about the same, other than this is 2.1. but it's the 7th, and this has been running for a lot longer. Okay. I may have put this on the live wallet, or I might have accidentally bumped it. I don't know. All right, so there it is. So it's still doing good after cloning it. Okay. So in the first couple of days or first couple of trades, it did not do well, but they're all small, right? But once it started to pick up, it really picked up. All right, cool. All right, so that's it for the quick start of the auto tuner. All right, so Cosmo does definitely have 000 for the safeties. Mine has one for stop loss and a couple other settings for, minimum buys and sells, but I'm kind of starting to move towards more of the 000 as of now because I can see proof from the XBG, but still I don't know yet. So I do have both of these types in there, and it is a lot easier to tune when you have something in the minimum buys and sells. A little more difficult to tune when it is at all zeros or when there's a stop loss. So this is where the tuner comes in place to get that, and it's very sensitive, and since if something's off, it'll probably throw up a lot of things too. So there it is. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna end this video now, and then I'll go into the other reasonings on what each setting means when I go over here, so you kind of understand what each of these settings do. Oh, what is it right here?